Psychic Roads Crystal Energy to Empowerment. We expel the bad energy and encourage the positive energy through the use of crystals. This is Crystal Energy to Empowerment. These crystals channel the powers of healing and encouraging the affirmative qualities the body needs to repair and rejuvenate, allowing harmful energies to expel. Beyond science as we know it, we explore the sphere of the metaphysical. This type of healing is of the divine spiritual kind that works directly in conjunction with the energies that are heightened for our desired outcomes. Whether one is self-healing or practicing healing on another, this powerful method works with a combination of the energy of the body, the anatomy of the spiritual, our auras, meditative condition, and of course the level of our objectives to heal or be healed. Crystal healing has the potential of bringing about homeostasis, a higher level of unison of mind, body and spirit. We balance our inner psyche with the practice of these vibrations of the elements, along with a learned knowledge of the power areas and so on. We all approach life's tasks in different ways, and crystal healing is no different. The uniqueness of our own personal views and touch brings into this healing technique a whole new illumination. A nice steady pouring, filling of this psychic crystal energy into our areas of our lives, just as importantly allowing and guiding as much of the negative energies away from us. We are all energy. This energy is all attached or bridged together. All of us and all matter in the universe is connected. Our natural journey is to realize this balance and harness the benefits we have in our grasp to perfect our spiritual anatomies. Through the correct attention and practice of this type of psychic healing, we eliminate the waste energy. With the correct managing, letting go, letting in and harnessing of these powerful forces, we enhance our mind, body and spiritual growth to phenomenal new levels. The gentleness of this psychic crystal healing is non-invasive, easily attainable and easily practicable. Many ways and many levels of this psychic application has us believe there is no limits or boundaries to this universal power. Even the tactile feel of these can have their own benefits, psychological emotions, mood and more. The many different colors and vibrations these crystals take us to the many different applications that one must personally learn and thus discover more. The structure of the crystal does not change or break down like unfortunately our bodies can with non-use and entropy, whereas the stable force of these vibrations does not waver. The amplification of these certain crystals introduces specific vibrations to the certain chakras of our bodies. We focus our positive awareness on and around these areas. We connect with mind, body and spirit, and we are on the road to the psychic healing of the crystal. By this awareness we learn more of how we read this energy, or lack of. The healthy spiritual choices we make on a daily basis become second nature, or shall we say, first nature. This crystal, gem, stone, rock, mineral healing combined with meditation that takes our consciousness to new focus, will free up our understanding of time, space, introspective thought, even giving us a great way to relax and chill. Empowerment is key. Empowerment comes from knowledge and experience. The more we share these new attributes, the more we receive and enjoy these new gifts. Healing and self-healing is a win-win situation. Raise the vibration positively. Heighten our calmness and harmony. Outdoors can also be a greater environment to practice the higher crystal vibrations, as the right spots can bring about real nature that naturally gravitates to one another. Indoors and outdoors both have their advantages, as indoors can harbor deep privacy that can strengthen imagination. The philosophical existential question and the question of one's own spirituality just may inch that little bit closer the more we look. Placing certain crystals, rocks and stones in various places such as the office, the car, next to your bed, the dinner table and in the bathroom exponentially promotes further vibration of the pure spiritual kind. The higher the frequency, the higher the basic sense to ground ourselves after being in meditative crystal healing and crystal empowerment. Learn and discover crystals and stones on their own before combining. Grouping of these can happen more naturally later with a bit of gained spiritual instinct. With more experimentation comes combining in recommended short spurts, at least at first, as different rocks and different circumstances will evolve once again with instinct gain for all. Prophetic dream state energy to empowerment. Are sleeping precognition phenomena? Are our dream states more real than our waking states? Are the psychokinetic answers found in our dreams? Psychic powers of our subconscious demonstrated through our dreams show us that we really have very few limitations in our psychic realities. Whether communicating with other souls, having a vivid glimpse of world events, or clearly experiencing an old friend phoning you in a dream, only to be called that coming day by that very person. These are precognitive dreams that have a knack of predicting our very future happenings, without time and distance barriers and without good or bad news preference. We must still decipher between real precognitive messages and real precognitive symbols of future events. The more we learn about deciphering even the most irrelevant appearing symbols, the more we are truly on the road to psychically reading our dreams. The dreamer's psyche illustrates the construct. These constructs separate the precognitive from the personal nature of a dream, therefore it is important to differentiate between the two. Paranormal dreams also have a tendency to not appear close in time of the predicted event and can make things even more complicated, as these timelines can become irrelevant. For instance, it is not uncommon to dream of a car accident 10 years in advance, and the car accident is merely a symbolic prediction of radically changing one's career that was coincidentally heading nowhere. We all have our own theories as to why we have these dreams. Nothing can be proven. However, we must evaluate and learn by our own experiences. All are the one and same, past, present and future in one. Are mostly dormant abilities of a super-psychic, psychokinetic force of awareness has but a trace left in us, and yearns to be rediscovered. Time as we know it, one-directional accounts we aware ourselves of as purely for the sake of our physical beings to exist. However, in our dream or astral realm we know no such dimensional boundaries. All is connected and our very own psychic realities have no walls, and even the largest fathomable extent of detachment becomes non-existent. Huge leaps and bounds are in our sight as soon as we can grasp the concept of space and time constructs as only of the limited physical nature. One very common dilemma is not knowing we have had a prophetic dream until after the real event has just taken place. After this realization, our proof memories come back to us even clearer and substantialized, and we were given a preview of the joining pieces. To hone these psychic dream skills, we must raise our attentions. Our attentions heighten once we relive these experiences in our minds and analyze our surroundings and feelings. This can be far more achievable by keeping a written dream book. Look for the ups and downs we go through in our feelings, either through the dreaming and after the dreaming. Be aware of urgencies, helplessness, unusual despair. Pinpoint and embrace the elated moments and experiences. The more we consciously dwell over the positive, the more these levels and types have chances of getting through. Try to spot one little element that happened in your last night's dream, and as an exercise try to embrace this portion of your dream throughout the whole day. Memory retrieval exercises as these can and will bring the empowerment back to the dreamer. Choose not to be the passenger, but taking the metaphorical steering wheel through our spiritual realities and awaken the soul. Precognition in our dreams is more common than we think, with at least a third of us regularly experiencing this phenomena on a daily basis. No psychological or physiological explanations, but plenty of philosophical and spiritual speculation. Psychic dreams have a way of standing out from the other dreams. There are enormous possibilities in these predictive dreams, and once we can start to self-empower, we can build on these talents with ultimate dream retrieval, spiking our natural psychic control. Having an open mind is highly advantageous, as on the other hand having a closed mind brings on tendencies to hide from us anything that's paranormal out of self-preservation, anxiety, fear of the unknown and spiritual knowledge building. Believing with an imaginative well-being opens and unlocks our original inner capacity to receive and see. Entertain the concept of referring to a dream dictionary, if not for accurate interpretations, as every dreamer is different, but to build and grow a fresh database of symbols that can only improve our abilities over time. Start piecing together all these new images, and these will become an early learning ground to eventually assemble these images into living communicative devices that are open. Our dream worlds are so traversed in the mysterious that our unfolding realities can only enrich and build upon our enigmatic new pathways to precognitive empowerment. The astral world energy to empowerment other planes. The allowing and gathering of energy guides directly from out of our own spiritual planes. These healing guides have the pure energies that haven't any boundaries, no want of recognition and no debilitating low frequencies, but only a miracle-inducing presence of energy. Psychic rumination, or simply meditation, the art of throwing out the conflicting and complicated thoughts that only slow the true meditative mind to a halt. A state of true psychic depths in the most productive dimension, achievable for anyone. Eradicate the negative from existence and free your psychic self from all negative stress levels. This is the start to connecting with yourself and the other plane. Let's take it a natural step further and deeper and introduce the disciplining of the physical along with meditation to achieve the highest psychic light. This can be achieved through personal positions that align oneself with the highest power. Open up our powerful energy flows that are free and limitless, achievable by all. Using sounds with our meditative state for the purest power and enlightenment is completely optional. All of this is a form for psychic attention of the true vibration that has no boundaries physically or spiritually. With experience one can build on one's discretion on certain types of new and higher energies for manifesting the highest psychic existence. Honing in and discerning of the affliction is the psychic healing, shifting energies correctly in the right direction toward the area of one's physical self that could be out of alignment. Self-reminders or assisted reminders along this path are crucial in visualizing the corrected outcome one is aiming to achieve. Reality of this energy state of raising this field by visualizing our forward actualities. The actuality is that psychic healing has been widely accepted in all fields as being a powerful curing device, working together to bring in a whole array of balances that mind, body and spirit can rise up to together, for a higher psychic level of being. Perfected oxygenation, improvement of sleep and dream patterns, the flow of blood and vitality of bodily instruments to our potential of a pristine being. Taking our bodies to the higher level of expelling the poisons that weigh us down. Raised energy levels. Happiness, clarity of thought, wisdom of the light, equilibrium of emotional states. All of this can easily be achieved through self-visualization, meditation for self-alignment, breathing and targeted healing through the inner light. However, it is vitally important to cast one's attention on learning correct form to gain even better results of the potential. This originates from psychic will and only improves with time and practice. For the psychic healers who are new to their potentials, this just means one tiny step in front of the other. Dedication is the road to psychic energy harnessing, and letting go is the hidden treasure of enlightenment. Not quite learnt in one day, but learning to not resist is the psychic secret that is freely available to everyone. Western society teaches and shapes us to resist what we do not know. Let's quit resisting inch by inch and take our first step today. Conditioning of fear in our lives, from day-to-day routine right through to the arts we invest our emotions in. If this anxiety and fear isn't dealt with on a regular basis, as the intake of these old societal ways are incoming, then the spiritually we are can become out of balance and starved of true enlightenment. Fear of success in spiritualism is a real thing. This fear is on the same side of the coin as the fears and anxieties we readily accept into our lives through our day-to-day and the forceful media we align our lives to. We remove ourselves little by little, and this creates a displacement effect of spiritually on the right path of balancing ourselves with more of the positive. All truly beautiful outcomes take a little practice, and this practice can grow upon itself manyfold. Today is the first day of the rest of our psychic roads. For most of us who battle with finding time, let's start with 1 minute per day. All great things begin somewhere. Before going to sleep, after waking from sleep, or even the 1-minute walk back to our car with the shopping. Everything begins with something. Let's receive what we naturally and spiritually deserve in our lives. Let's give to others what we can powerfully give spiritually, something that just isn't accessible from our limiting molded societies. Whether we are completely new to this or just simply in need of a nudge to get back to it because of society's material commitments, we connect with our other spiritual planes for the energy, healing to empowerment, the miracles and enlightenment we are all born to be part of. Astral sphere to empowerment, this psychic energy. Astral energy to empowerment, although not usually sensed by our human senses, are our spiritual, astral bodies that are utilized on a daily and nightly basis for many benefits we're aware of, and many benefits we're not aware of. This empowerment, our astral states and energies are housed, forms itself into our physical bodies and lives. Our experiences and circumstances of the right here, right now are attended to through this other dimension and of our physical existence. This is our body of light that travels to and through the astral plane whilst we are at the enabling frequency during this sleep or deep meditation. We synchronize our own consciousness to meet and enter into our astral being to utilize this psychic energy to empowerment. This is achieved purposely by entering into astral-inducing stages of sleep or a practiced meditation that welcomes this state. We stand far more successful outcomes of this practice when we think and focus in the way of vibrational levels. While on our way to these vibrational levels, we should keep in mind our intentions. These intentions either ranging from a healing of some sort, an awakening, a vision, or purely for empowerment in the astral and physical world. We ask for astral direction, revelations, guidance, etc. These astral guides we reach out to are coexisting in different dimensions in the astral and play different roles depending on what we are reaching out for. These guides, loosely termed, vary from messaging, energy lifting, power healing and so on. Firstly, we should have a priority of desire and ask for the right appropriate guides and guidance. This focus of importance will keep us positively surrounded by the correct energy sources that are right for us. While in this deep astral state, in either method we learn of the different ways of communication, either out of pure intuition, from out of our lucid dreaming states, or from an astral vision, and so on. The most important thing to do after this practice is listen and open up to our own intuitive senses, the lives of others and the never-ending vibe of empathy. Ability or tendency to identify and comprehend the circumstances, emotions and lives of others. It is the pure heart-to-heart connection and awareness of other people's experiences that penetrates far deeper than reason, equipping us with knowledge through our senses. These senses are not necessarily through the mind, but through our empathic connection our souls thrive for. On the downside, Occasionally empathy can and does require us to experience the excruciating pain or sorrow of others. For if we choose to ignore these feelings of others, we are only denying our own sense experiences of being sole human. We also grant to ourselves the ability to feel all of the incredible highs along with feeling the incredible lows. Ultimately, we lift those around us by being receptive to the good, bad or indifferent. Spiritual integrity grows with our full acceptance and engagement, and this leads to true positive change in others and ourselves. Over time in our lives we have been inflicted with a harsh world, what it throws at us, hence we become protective of ourselves. We all need to actively keep building and rebuilding connections that have been broken or strained. These connections are all bridged through the most simple abilities we all have, and this is empathy. A huge spectrum of levels we all experience on varying intensities every moment of our lives. The most toughened individuals, by the world, all experience empathy, whether in films, television, music, newspapers, even good or bad sport outcomes. These avenues serve as a reminder of our potential capabilities that work even when we are not willing or aware. We shift, adapt and grow our truest abilities of empathy and we discovered the magic of happiness. Subsequently our hearts and souls open up and widen to complete love. This raises our energy frequency and becomes a gift that keeps on giving. The more we connect, the more we grow. The more we open up to the many more soul abilities we are all entitled to. Imagination is the beginning of seeing, feeling and understanding. Imagination is far more than dialogue, as the act of imagining builds images, and images build inner and interconnections. Our imagery builds empathy. Empathy is the road to all of the other powerful soul abilities. Empathy of today. Walking a mile in their shoes? Is empathy really the act of experiencing this world as someone else does? As an actor embodies the character he or she is playing, living, so too does the empath whether consciously or subconsciously takes on the feelings and emotions of another, leading to greater understanding. However, when taking on these feelings and emotions, we must be aware that we take on even the undesirable feelings and emotions. The sometimes less than honorable traits we delve into, we experience, we live. As we become the same with this person, we share their situations, their sensations, even their ideologies. Whether this is sensation empathy or situation empathy or something far deeper, character empathy. The areas of their brains which experience joy or pain become the areas of our brains. New patterns form and evolve. Next time someone says, "I feel what you're going through," whether an empathic comforter or a mere metaphor, we stand to be on guard and not open ourselves to the possible, undesirable emotions too readily. We need to remind ourselves, are these emotions productive? Are these emotions moving in the right direction? Rather than being a passive sponge to the outer world, empaths are far better off taking back control, being proactive with feelings and emotions, taking ownership of the present. We need to guard ourselves from what we are likely to empathize with. Wrong emotions gathered can quite easily become habit-forming. On the other hand, great, positive emotions we witness, share and experience are the fruits of enlightenment. We build on this and we armor ourselves against all the rest, finding ourselves in a realm of undaunted strength that walking a mile in anyone's shoes will become a walk in the park. Alchemical healing and to be awake. Now is the time that the pace of spiritual awareness should by all accounts be keeping up with the pace of technology. It is time to reawaken the healing and enlightenment energies within and to welcome the miraculous higher awarenesses in this life. Alchemical healing is a real spiritual road to a true state of enlightenment as much as it is a school of thought and knowledge. We must remember that the privilege of knowledge is spiritually available to all, and remembering as a whole goes as far as acquiring alchemical collective knowledge throughout all of time. How we react from day to day to our own little dilemmas right through to world events are all conscious choices, and each dilemma comes with it a new chance of potential higher awareness and new spirituality. Alchemy is to pure change as laughter is to mental reassessment when times are of gloom. Our reality is changed with acquired knowledge, awareness and practice of this age-old, new alchemy, and the mystery of our psychological subconsciousness becomes ever more transparent. Humankind throughout history have achieved reality of existence through the magic that is hovering between humanity and spirituality. And these along with the realms of intuition, we practice influence over our physical reality. The Earth's 5 elements are intertwined with alchemical healing and enlightenment, and these ever-changing energies of life are fused with new and changing intelligent forces for physical change. The awakening healing realities of alchemy are greatly enhanced universally and resources of nature process freely the true healing and enlightenment. The Tao and the vague path. Seeking no audience unlike almost all else, this is Taoism and Tao path. But what is it good for? Common misconceptions about Taoism and the mystery of the ancient Taoists slowly deepen as so little of the ancient texts are successfully translated for the world to see, but ironic is the fact that so much of the little translated and little interpreted of the ancient texts are translated by academics who have not walked the Tao path to begin with. Also, for many who truly walk this walk will hardly profess to doing so in the first place. First, we must move past a misguided assumption that the spirituality of the Eastern world is far more spiritual than that of the Western world. This misconception is cleared if and when we get past this wall of the vague sense that comes from so little successfully passed down to begin with. Rather than explored by spiritual intellectuals abstractly, Taoism must be accessible to all, regardless of previous beliefs, education, IQ, age, race, etc. It gradually appears that the more vague Taoism becomes to the outside world, the more vague the understanding becomes, and somehow inside the deep vagueness clarity begins. Tao path. Taoism welcomes the humble and sincere. Taoism has no religious aspect and seeks not to grandstand and claim as religion does, but Taoism is open only to the pure of heart, therefore revealing hidden wisdom to those who are open to this ancient and metaphorical language. Taoism is not an ultimate achievement, nor is it a spiritual life, but as much as it isn't, Taoism adds years to our lives and more life to our years. But what is the real advantage of Taoism? Nothing. For inside of the Tao we achieve more by doing less, for we express more by saying less. Being Tao is being true is living without the worldly and spiritual cravings of acceptance, but cravings of the truth that only we can find, not be shown or led to. No one walks in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and we are not the same being. When the world of Avatar reflects our own identity, is it the nirvana path of our own soul transitioning? The ongoing thread of identity runs deep through Avatar, along with reality, free will, inclusion, reincarnation, and what it really takes to cast off the real demons in all of us. Avatars are the world narrative set on the exoplanetary moon, Pandora. This Earth-like moon is inhabited by the sapient indigenous humanoid species called the Na'vi. Jake Sully, a paraplegic ex-marine, serendipitously taking his dead brother's place in the Avatar program run by the military, to learn the ways of the Na'vi, and covertly, their weaknesses. Unexpected by the military and also by Jake Sully that he would sure enough emotionally fall for the heart and spirituality of these people and the moon itself. Finding himself, in more ways than one, stuck smack in the middle of an all-out war of survival. This film addresses the real identity issue from an Earth spirit standing point, decisions we all make from the soul. During the process, Jake's ex-military identity starts to fade as this new spiritual identity takes over this new form of existence, seen through the eyes and senses of a relatively new being. Tribes against humans, humans against tribes, tribes against tribes, tribes against invaders. This film's story is ageless. This tale is encapsulated neatly inside all our DNA and historical struggles, victim or culprit, from way back. Our own soul decisions and perceptions, a question of a dualistic nature we all wrestle with. Are we simply defined by the physical experiences of the soul? Realities we progressively conjure, or is it all part of a cosmic plan created by something higher? Contrasts deeply resonate as their tribal, Na'vi attempt to hold fast to everything that life stands for, whilst the military invaders, trained ironically through soul extraction, play out the never-ending age-old conquest of greed at all costs. This conflict draws out questions and truths as to where are our identity origins and where are our identity destinations. This infinite identity which is our universe, our ongoing universal incarnations we transition from life to life. Metaphors of reincarnation are layered thick inside the core of Avatar Buddhism and the life cycle of our very own identity destination after we pass over and into what form? This transitioning from body to body Jake goes through in Avatar as the spiritual dualism life goes through from now to the next. Ideally, Jake has full recollection of his original identity as he transitions, unlike the widely accepted axiom of completely losing one's identity and memories in our own passing over and through processes as we ourselves are soul transmigrated. Free will and how free will shape our personalities is vital to possibly our very own nirvana. This quest for nirvana is identity in itself. Identity in itself is the pursuit of happiness. The numbers that are the shapers inside a perfect universe? The number patterns being discovered or created. Human smarts versus artificial smarts, and is it even a question? Cognition of the humankind, created in the image of us, performed by machines and given momentum by us, for us the biological intelligent. Computer algorithms that shape the instructions for the machines. They shape the artificial neural network like ribbons sphoring their way across. Just as every single thing has a mathematical formula, creating the code or discovering the code is the question. When do numbers start to exist? Just like our human consciousness really exists because of human consciousness, a paradox. Numbers or code or algorithms exist once we are aware of them? The old head in the sand saying, for if on the other end of the universe we discover a calling card answer to life echoing back to Earth, surely there is life in the universe that is depending on others for scientific enlightenment. Will humans one day endeavor to become the police of the universe? The science gurus of the universe? The saviors? For becoming the police of the universe, one merely needs to demonstrate sophisticated scientific wonder and great mediating prowess. If science is the study of everything, if philosophy and numbers or the shapers of numbers are the be-all and end-all to vast progress of intelligence, then we are the lucky rare humans that tripped over the apple in the first place. The rare godlike minds through our history that have sparked their jolt of new thinking into humanity's evolution. These amazing minds, if us as human take for granted the numbers game of chance in the 1 in a million of great minds like Da Vinci, Plato, Gutenberg, Pascal, as other Earth civilizations may not have been so lucky. As everything we see, touch and think comes from shaped algorithms, We are still head deep in sand when it comes to fully understanding just a glimpse of the potential these number codes can and will materialize for every living soul. The singularity of intelligence is in some ways here already. The event horizon of real singularity is still yet to come. These numbers and shapers of numbers will enlighten the thirsty, and just maybe there will spring a new agenda to reverse engineer the universe, to perfect the universe and what lies ahead. Do we exist in a dream? Could we or should we one day break out of the illusion? Holoverse or Simulverse, no longer a strange, bizarre or quasi-theory, as many a scientific mind of the respected are leading this way in thought or theory. The discoveries of the scientific many have their beginnings as mere theory, and usually crazy and far out sounding in their early days as a world that's round. Is there really such a thing as a universe? Is it virtual reality so far advanced there is no way of telling the difference? Evidence of our past theories proven show us hope that at least one way or the other before too long will definitely be proven once and for all. Do we exist inside a dream? Do we exist inside someone else's dream? What if we were to break out of whatever illusion we are in? Would we cease to exist, on the level of existing we currently know, or is there so much more? These illusion theories go way back in history to the ancient Indian philosophers through to modern quantum scientists working equally from philosophical standpoints to support the science of tomorrow. This is the never-ending question of the conscious mind, and really how conscious is true consciousness, or is ignorance bliss?